guitar has the frequency and the vibration, right? And
Right.
that generates some sort of energy for the universe. Yeah.
Yeah, vibration. I mean, vibrations in the universe are a common theme. You know, we all vibrate to our own
Frequency.
ourselves, but we do it in conjunction to the universe. We're all vibrating at a different frequency,
Frequency.
but yet we all fit in. You know, but the one thing that vibrates at the most consistent frequency is the absolute, who people call God. I call the absolute.
Okay.
And I learned that my journey is
Hmm.
to match my vibration with the vibration of the absolute, because we're not foreigners. I mean, we wouldn't that wouldn't be happening for us if we weren't on that journey to find that. You know, a lot of Hinduism and Buddhism talk about karma and having to go through many life cycles to outlive the karma. I don't quite see that. I see that more in uh, realizing, first of all, who we really are.
Hmm.
You know,
Yes.
uh, we aren't just this flesh and blood. There's something more to us, and I think that's why we're here, is to make that realization. But that in the realization, we're connected to the
Yeah.
absolute.
Right. We. I think a lot of modern, especially modern life, everybody can think beyond this physical form, 3D world, right? So, so when you said that we're not just flesh and blood and we are more than that, that's very, very true. But a lot of people, especially those so-called educated people, are very, very hard to accept this concept, or this reality. I don't call it concept or theory. I know it's part of our reality. We just haven't find out more or more broader everyone know, but I do also heard that more and more people are starting to awakening of
Well,
this.
there's been many awakenings through life,
Right,
through
yes,
civilization. There's in America there was the Great Awakening, which was a religious thing right after the turn of the century. But along with that, along with the religion, came a great interest in the occult, which that's what Western religion calls Eastern religion is occult, and occult simply means hidden. So all religions practice occult, you
cult.
know,
Mm,
uh, because God is hidden, I suppose.
yeah,
But when you the Eastern philosophies appealed more to me because they were more cosmic bound. You know what I
mm,
mean? It
right, right,
wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't the Jesus thing. And
right,
if you believe in that, that's fine. I don't.
yes,
Whatever gets you through the night. But for me, I I found something different. I walked through a doorway one day,
yes, tell us.
and after I went through that doorway, I could never go back. There was no going back. When you know.
Yes,
It sounds
exactly.
redundant as hell, but
I totally get it. But I want to ask you this because I personally, like I say, my journey is just beginning. I personally do understand what that third eye is now.
yes.
And then when you say you walk through that door, is that kind of related to?
Well, it is totally related. When the third eye opens, and that is something that, see, you have to be aware. You have to know that there is one. You have to know that that's what you're looking for. But I knew I was looking for something, and so
Right.
because it came to me. The
Yeah.
universe rewarded my inquisitiveness. It was just, and I read a lot. I
Uh-huh.
read a lot of authors who had been down that path before me. Probably the greatest influence in my life was Carlos Castaneda, who wrote about his books, The Teachings of Don Juan, and it's a Yaqui way of knowledge. So this is a shaman
Shaman.
teaching
Okay. Eugene,
Carlos
yes.
Castaneda. This was his thesis. This is what he wrote for. There are 4 books, and they're his thesis for his master's.
Hmm.
And it was about what a Yaqui, which is an Indian American, a Native American Indian, a shaman taught him about spiritualism, and by using psychedelics. Okay, I'm
Okay.
not afraid to say I've
Yeah.
mushrooms have opened doors for me that are unbelievable. I mean, it's just incredible. We talked about that,
Right. Yes.
and
Yes.
and people want to say, well, it's not real. And it's like, well, okay, convince me what I experienced wasn't real. It's not real for you, but it certainly was for
Exactly.
me.
Yeah.
You know,
Experience.
I know what I experienced. I know what was there. It was, and I was able to recreate a lot of that through meditation. So
Yes.
having the same experiences without any kind of enhancement.
Yes.
And, so I know that what I found was what for me is real.
Yes.
And that's what I've always looked to,
Yes.
you know.
I agree with you because again, especially in our today's society, I when we express our or share our experience, people will tend to say, "Ah, that's not true." But how would they know, right?
Well, how
It's
can they
really
argue my experience
right.
away
I
from it? I
know.
mean,
Yeah.
they're simply people like that are close-minded, in my opinion, and they're
Yes.
merely trying to put on to you their limitation of experience.
Yes.
And that's
And
okay. That's fine. Let them do that because I know what's real for me. I know what, it's like,
yes.
I mean, I've done many things in my life.
Right. And
And
then you also mentioned is certain people has this is considered a gift, correct?
yes, it is,
Yeah.
it's called, well, and it is called a gift, but the gift is not, let me see if I can word this right.
Okay. I think I know where you're going, but
Well,
okay.
the gift is more, it's more complex than just meditating. And the universe wants to give us all a gift.
Mm,
And the
okay.
gift is the realization of who we are in conjunction to the great I am. You know,
Yes.
I have to find out who I am,
Yes.
not
I
the
am.
false ego, not the one that wants to drive the brand new car, that wants to have a lot of money or have that's a false ego.
Yes. Yes.
I'm trying to make something, appear real that is fake.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but the real I am is who I am connected to the great I am.
Yes.
And
And
find and my to get my soul or my spark, whatever you want to
yeah.
call it, that thing that gives me life and who makes me who I really am.
Yeah. I wanna let the audience knows when we are talking about the gift, we're not talking about like people with natural talent born that way. We're talking about can go through a practice or some sort of experience, right?
Well,
And then
exactly.
yeah,
And a lot of times, like I've had a lot of experiences with talking to people about spirituality.
uh-huh.
You can tell who really is interested in it and who isn't, and who
Yes,
wants a fast track and
yes.
uh, uh,
Or who's
who won't,
afraid of this topic.
well, and who won't shut up long enough to listen. I mean, I've been around people, and it's like, hey, there's a gift here. If you just be quiet for
Hey,
5
no, they're
minutes,
gonna say something else to stop you.
but you can't. As somebody who, to me, a lot of people talk like that because they're in fear.
I know.
You know,
Insecure.
And especially when you get into a situation like that, because it can be very scary.
Mm,
And it's not really scary, it's just unknown.
yeah.
So many people, and myself included when I was very young, you're afraid of the unknown.
Yes, exactly.
You
And
know,
actually, unknown is the part that we can improve and grow and find our higher self.
you know, you to me, I always found my higher self by taking chances.
Yes,
You know,
exactly. Yeah.
I used to do a lot of things that a lot of people would consider crazy. I mean, I've surfed 40-foot waves, I've climbed mountains, I've climbed frozen waterfalls, and I am never more alive than when I'm close to death. You
Okay.
know, nothing will make you, and I'm not saying that I'm an adrenaline junkie because that's just not who I am.
Mhm.
But I was afraid of heights. So how did I get over it?
Me
I learned
too.
to climb mountains.
Wow.